Welcome all. This lecture is continuation of my earlier lecture regarding numerical problems on first law of thermodynamics, and this particular topic will be discussed from the textbook Thermal Physics with Kinetic Theory, Thermodynamics and Statistical Mechanics by S.C. Garg, Ghosh and Bansal. So I will request the viewers to go through my earlier lecture at first, then you come to this lecture. So let me discuss the first problem. A 50 kg weight is made to fall through a height 6 meter on a paddle wheel which tires 6 kg of water. So you have to understand the problem at first. That is, there is some water in a particular container, and in that container there is a wheel. Why there is a wheel? Because if you move this wheel, then what will happen? So it will stir the water, and ultimately the temperature of the water will be increased. So there is a paddle on this wheel, and there is some arrangement that is paddle can be moved. So what is the arrangement? That is a weight, a particular weight that will give pressure on this paddle. So the problem is that a 50 kg weight is made to fall through a height of 6 meter on a paddle. So this particular weight is falling on the paddle. So as this heavy weight is falling on the paddle, so it will give some pressure on the paddle. So ultimately this paddle will move the wheel, and ultimately the water will be stirred and the temperature of the water will be increased. So what we have to do, calculate the rise in temperature if no heat is lost in this process. So we have to calculate, that is how much temperature is raised in this process. We are taking small g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and specific heat capacity of water as 332 joule per kg per Kelvin. So the potential energy of falling weight is equal to mgh. So this is the potential energy. We know how to calculate that. Now here m is the mass of the weight, that is 50 kg. G is the acceleration due to the gravity, and h is the height. Now you see there was a mistake, that is 4 was there. I have omitted that. So the expression is m into g into h. So ultimately the answer will be 2940 joule. If you multiply these all these quantities, then you will get 2940 joule. So this energy is used up in raising the temperature of the water. So ultimately this particular energy that is equal to the heat. Now the formula of the heat is m into the heat capacity into delta T. Now you see that is here the unit of the heat capacity is in mass unit. It is not in mole unit. That is why we are using the formula m into Cv into delta T. I think you have listened my earlier lecture. In the earlier lecture also I discussed, that is how to use the formula of the heat. So you see that is in the right side, and there is the expression delta T. So apart from the delta T, all the quantities are known, so we can calculate delta T, that is a change in temperature, and this is 1.48 Kelvin. Then next problem, that is a perfect gas at 300 Kelvin occupies a volume 0.2 meter cube at a pressure 5 into 10 to the power 6 Newton per meter square. So you see that is volume is given, pressure is given, and temperature is also given. It is allowed to expand isothermally to a volume 0.5 meter cube. So what we are doing, that is we are allowing the gas to expand isothermally to a volume 0.5 meter cube. Initially the volume was 0.2. Now after the expansion the volume becomes 0.5. then the gas is compressed isobarically to its original volume. So at first it was expanded, then what we are doing, then we are compressing the gas, then the gas is compressed isobarically to the original volume. Finally the pressure is increased isochorically and returns to its original state. And finally what we are doing, the pressure is increased isochorically and original state is returned. So what we have to do, we have to calculate the work done. Now this is a series of processes. So what we have to do, you have to just check that is which process is of what type, and accordingly we have to use those formulas. Such types of problems we have already solved in our previous lecture. So in this case also you see, that is we can calculate the work done. So what we are doing at first, that is we are using the equation of state. So equation of state is N is equal to PV by RT. This is the equation of state. Now you see, that is in this equation the values of pressure, volume, these are given, that is initial condition. If you use the initial condition, then you can calculate the number of moles, because we know N is a number of moles. So you can calculate the number of moles. Now you can draw this diagram, that is three different processes are there, AB, BC and CA. We have already solved such types of problems. So just like previous problems, we can also solve this problem. So the final pressure at the end of the isothermal expansion we can calculate from the standard equation, that is Pi Vi is equal to Pf Vf, because initial pressure, initial volume and final volume is known. So we can calculate the final pressure in the isothermal expansion. This is the expression of the final pressure. Now the work done in the isothermal process, in the previous lecture I have already shown, that is what is the expression of the work done in the isothermal process. So this one is the expression of the work done in isothermal process. So that is nRT ln Vf by Vi. You know all the data in the right side. So you can easily calculate the work done in the isothermal process. Now you just check the second process. The second process is BC, and in this particular process the pressure remains constant. However, the volume change, that is, it is given the initial volume is 0.5 and the final volume is 0.2. So the work done will be P into delta V. This is a fixed pressure and this one is a change in volume delta V. So we can calculate the work done. And the last step, that is from C to A, here you see the volume is fixed, but there is a change of pressure. Change of pressure is there. So in this case, as there is no change of volume, so no work will be done. Why no work will be done? Because in the previous lecture I discussed, that is, and the expression of work done W is equal to P into dV. P into dV, but this process is isochoric one. That means dV is equal to 0, no change in volume. From the graph you can see, that is this is fixed volume 0.2, no change of volume. So in the last step the work done is 0. So the total work done you can calculate. This is the sum of the work, that is WAB plus WBC plus WCA, but WCA is equal to 0. So ultimately the total work done is WAB, but here this particular work, that is WBC, here you see, that is this one is compression 0.5 to 0.2. So work is done on the gas, so there will be negative sign there in WBC. So the ultimately the total work will be this one, that is WAB minus WBC. We are using negative sign as work is done on the gas. So this is the total work done. So there are some other cyclic process problems also. I am not discussing all the problems, but you can go through this problem. This particular example, this also involves some cyclic process, and you have to just calculate the work done in each steps. Next problem, a certain mass of a diatomic gas at STP is expanded to 3 times its volume adiabatically. Calculate the change in temperature and pressure. So, here the points to be noted is that the firstly the gas is diatomic. So, if the gas is diatomic, then we have to put the values of gamma accordingly, and secondly the gas is at STP, that is standard temperature and pressure, and you are expanding the gas, so volume becomes 3 times of the initial volume, but the process is adiabatic process, and you have to calculate the change in temperature and pressure. So, you use the TV relation. I have already discussed about 3 types of relation: TV, TP and VT relation, TP relation. So, these 3 types of relation we have already discussed in the earlier lecture. So, TV relation is T V to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. So, that is why T 1 V 1 to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to T 2 into V 2 to the power gamma minus 1. So, from the problem it has been mentioned, that is volume becomes 3 times. So, V 2 is equal to 3 V 1 and initial temperature T 1 is equal to 273 Kelvin. Why 273 Kelvin? Because you see it was at STP, standard temperature and pressure, that is why T 1 is equal to 273 Kelvin. So, final temperature T 2 will be T 1 into V 1 by V 2 to the power gamma minus 1. Now, for diatomic gas we are putting the value of gamma as 1.4. So, finally, we can calculate the temperature T 2. So, T 2 is this one. So, change in temperature delta T is equal to this one. So, temperature is reduced, that is why delta T is negative. Now, we can also calculate the change in pressure. In that case, we have to use PV relation. PV to the power gamma is equal to constant. So, P1 V1 to the power gamma is equal to P2 V2 to the power gamma, and in the same process as described in earlier cases, final pressure P2 we can also calculate. This is the final pressure. It will be in terms of atmosphere, because we have put the value of P1 in atmosphere, because we know 1 atmosphere is the standard pressure. So, final pressure is in atmosphere unit. So, change in pressure is minus 0.785 atmosphere. In this way, we can calculate the value of the final temperature and pressure when the gas is being expanded in adiabatic process. Another problem, this problem is very important problem. The problem says that the front tires of a sedan car, sedan is a car actually, the front tires of a sedan can have a pressure of 2 atmosphere at 300 Kelvin. So, 300 Kelvin, that is almost close to the room temperature. So, as we know that inside the tires there is air, so that has a pressure. So, what is the pressure? The pressure is 2 atmosphere at 300 Kelvin. If one of the tires suddenly bursts, so you consider a case, that is the tires burst. Calculate the final temperature and take gamma is equal to 1.4. When a tire bursts suddenly, the process is so fast that no transfer of heat takes place, because this process is a very fast process. When the tire bursts suddenly, what happens? That is the air which was initially inside of the tire, that comes out of it, and this process is so fast that no transfer of heat can take place. This exemplifies an adiabatic change. So, this particular change of state, we can say that this is adiabatic process. To calculate temperature when pressure changes adiabatically, we can use the TP relation. There are different types of relation, but we can use the TP relation in this particular problem, because we have to calculate the final temperature, and pressure value at the initial condition is given in this problem. That is why we are using the TP relation, and we know the TP relation is P to the power gamma minus 1 by T to the power gamma is equal to constant. So, from this particular equation we can write P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by T1 to the power gamma is equal to P2 to the power gamma minus 1 by T2 to the power gamma. So final temperature T2 that can be expressed by this right hand side. Now you see that is T1. T1 is the initial temperature, that is 300 Kelvin, it is given, and initial pressure, that is P1. P1 is equal to 2 atmosphere, it is also given. But final pressure P2, what will be the final pressure? Because when the air which was inside the tire that comes out of it, then it is in normal pressure. Normal pressure means standard pressure. So final pressure, that is P2, that must be 1 atmosphere. So P1 is equal to 2 atmosphere, but final pressure P2, as that air comes out of it and it is in normal pressure. So final pressure P2 must be 1 atmosphere, and T1 is equal to 300 Kelvin. So we know all the parameters in the right side, and in the problem it has been mentioned that is gamma is 1.4. So finally we can calculate the final temperature T2. So you see that final temperature is minus 26.9 degree centigrade. As air comes from the high pressure to a low pressure value, so that is why what happens, that is temperature is decreased, and this is the value minus 26.9 degree centigrade. A monoatomic ideal gas at 27 degree centigrade suddenly compressed to 1/10 of the original volume. Calculate the temperature after compression. How will this result be different for a diatomic gas? So the first thing is that the gas is monoatomic. Initial temperature is given, and we are compressing the gas to 1/10 of the volume, that is we are decreasing the volume. And another thing is that there is a particular word mentioned here, suddenly. Apart from this word, it has not been mentioned, that is what is the type of process. But as it has been mentioned, that is it is suddenly. So what does it mean? Suddenly means the gas, it must be when it is compressed, it must be a adiabatic process, because you see in the previous problem also we have mentioned that when the process is very fast, then there is no exchange of heat. So that is why this particular process will be adiabatic, as the gas is compressed suddenly. Now we know the Tv relation, Tv to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. So T1 V1 to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 to the power gamma minus 1, and T2 is equal to T1 into V1 by V2 to the power gamma minus 1. Now you see that the gas is compressed to 1/10 of the original volume. So V1 by V2 is 10, and T1 is equal to 300 Kelvin, because it is 27 degree centigrade. So T1 is equal to, in Kelvin unit, this is 300 Kelvin, and it is monoatomic gas, and for monoatomic gas value of the gamma is 1.67. I am again saying that is you have to remind the values of gamma for monoatomic and diatomic case. So for monoatomic gas, gamma is equal to 1.67. So finally you can calculate the temperature T2, which is 1130 degree centigrade. Now you see that is you see the temperature, final temperature, that is its value is very high, 1130 degree centigrade. As you are decreasing the volume to a very low value, 1/10 of the original value, that is why the value of the temperature will be very high. And for diatomic gas, the value of the gamma will change only. So you just the value you just put the value of gamma for diatomic gas, which is 1.4. So in that case the value of the T2 will be little bit of different. So you see that for diatomic gas the final temperature is 480.6 degree centigrade, which is quite lower than the value for monoatomic case. Another problem, calculate the work done when 1 liter of a monoatomic gas at STP is compressed adiabatically to half of its volume. So we have to calculate the work done, and the process is adiabatic, it has been mentioned, and the gas is being compressed to half of the original volume. So that is V1 by V2 is equal to half. So we can use the formula that we have derived earlier, for work done in adiabatic compression. This particular derivation was discussed in the earlier lecture. But in this particular book, they have used this formula, that is W is equal to 1 by 1 minus gamma into this one. But if you carefully just check the derivation of W, then you will see that actually W is equal to capital K by 1 minus gamma. But they have written 1 by 1 minus gamma. I think this will produce a little bit confusion to the students. So I will recommend that you just use this formula. This is very straightforward. You use W is equal to R by gamma minus 1 into Ti minus Tf, where Ti is the initial temperature. Initial temperature means that is at first the gas was at STP, so Ti is equal to 273 Kelvin. Now how you can get the Tf, that is final temperature? You can easily get it because you can use TV relation, because you see if you use TV relation, then apart from the Tf, all the parameters are known. TV relation means T1 or Ti Vi to the power gamma, because you see in this problem we have used TV relation, that is Ti Vi to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to Tf Vf to the power gamma minus 1. That is just the earlier problem that we have discussed. So just proceeding similar to the earlier approach, you can calculate the final temperature Tf or T2. So after calculation of the final temperature Tf, then use this formula, that is R by gamma minus 1 Ti minus Tf, where the value of the gamma is 1.67 and the value of R you have to know. In the previous problem you can use the value of R, because we have used the value of R in several problems. That just you check any of the values which we have used earlier. That is, for example, you can use this value 8314 joule per kilomole Kelvin to the power minus 1. Actually there are different values of R, but it is better to use a particular value of R which is suitable for this problem. So we can use that value of R, and from there we can calculate the value of the work done in this process. So it is better to use this approach rather than these values. So you just use this approach, R by gamma minus 1 into Ti minus Tf, and from this formula you can calculate the work done in this process. So the next problem is that a gas at 27 degrees centigrade is compressed suddenly to 8 times its initial pressure. Calculate the rise in temperature. Take gamma is equal to 1.5. But this problem is just like similar to the earlier problem. So we can skip this problem, because these are very easy. Just you have to use the TP relation, and from there you can calculate the final temperature, because all other values are known to us. This problem is very important. Air at STP is compressed slowly and suddenly to half its volume. Calculate the change in its temperature. So initially the air is at STP. Then what you are doing, you are compressing the gas, and you are compressing in two different ways, at first slowly and then suddenly. So you see in this problem the types of process are directly not mentioned, but there are some hints, because you see if you consider the first case, that is slowly, when the gas is compressed slowly, the process is isothermal one, and there will be no change in its temperature. In the isothermal process there is no change in the temperatures. That is why the name is isothermal. And in the second process, that is suddenly, when the gas is compressed suddenly, the process is adiabatic, because we have discussed several times, that is when the process is very fast, so there is no heat exchange. So that is why the process is adiabatic one. So this particular process is adiabatic, and in that case you can calculate the change in temperature, because in the first case there is no change in temperature, but in the second case there definitely there is temperature, and you can use the TB relation, and just like the problems which we have discussed earlier, you can calculate the final temperature, because you see here you are making the volume half of its original volume. So V1 by V2 is equal to half, and this is air, and for air you can take approximately gamma is equal to 1.4. This particular value of gamma we have also mentioned several times during solving the numerical problems. So gamma is equal to 1.4, V1 by V2 that is equal to 2, and you see V1 by V2 is equal to 2 because V2 is equal to V1 by 2. They have used V2, value of the V2 means final volume. Final volume is V2 is equal to V1 by 2, that is V1 by V2 is equal to 2. So final temperature T2 is this one, and this is a change in temperature. 87.2 Kelvin is a change in temperature. A certain mass of an ideal gas at 27 degrees centigrade and 8 atmosphere pressure is expanded suddenly to 4 times its initial volume. Calculate the final pressure and temperature of the gas. Take gamma is equal to 1.5. So again you see that is in this problem also, and the process is not directly mentioned, but there is a term suddenly. As they have used the term suddenly, that means you have to understand that this particular problem is about adiabatic change. Now you see that is for adiabatic change, your task is to calculate the pressure and temperature. So we can use PV relation, PV to the power gamma is equal to constant, because you see that is the change of volume is given, because you are expanding the gas 4 times of its initial volume, and the initial pressure, that is 8 atmosphere, it is also provided. So initial pressure is provided, and the change of volume it is also mentioned, that is if you use PV relation, then you can easily calculate the final pressure. So P1 V1 to the power gamma is equal to P2 V2 to the power gamma. So P2 is equal to P1 into V1 by V2 to the power gamma. In this way, if we put all the values in the right side, then you can calculate that is P2 is equal to 1 atmosphere. And to calculate the final temperature, you can use the TB relation. T1 V1 to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 to the power gamma minus 1. The value of gamma is known, and initial temperature, that is 27 degrees centigrade, means 300 Kelvin, that is the initial temperature, and the change of volume you also know, V1 by V2 is equal to 2. So you can easily calculate the final temperature also. This is the final temperature. The temperature of 5 kg of air is raised by 1 degree centigrade at constant volume. Calculate the increase in its internal energy. So this problem is a little bit different. You again read the problem carefully. There is some air, the mass is 5 kg, and you are increasing the temperature of this particular portion of the air by 1 degree centigrade. That means temperature change is 1 degree centigrade, and this particular change of state is happening at constant volume. So we have to calculate the increase in its internal energy. Cp is given and gamma is given. Now we know that in an isochoric process no work is done, because if the gas is at constant volume, so there is no work done, and internal energy equals to the heat taken. So as you are increasing the temperature of the air, so all the heat that is being used in increasing the temperature of the air, so that is actually increasing the internal energy. So du is equal to the heat. Now what is the expression of heat? If it is at constant volume, and then we will use the expression m, mass into specific heat into change of temperature. Why you are using such expression? Because you see mass is given here, 5 kg of air. That is why we are using such types of expression, m into Cv into dt. But you see that is the value of Cv has not been provided directly, but Cp has been provided, and its unit is in mass unit. So we can write the Cv as Cp by gamma, because Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. So that is why for Cv we are writing as Cp by gamma, mCp by gamma into dt. Now all the values are known in the right side, so you can easily calculate the value of du, that is change in internal energy. 10 liter of air at 17 degrees centigrade and 76 centimeter mercury pressure is compressed adiabatically to a volume of 0.5 liter. Calculate the final temperature and pressure. And I think this is similar to the earlier problems. Just you see that is the process is adiabatic one, so you can use the TP relation and TP relation to calculate the temperature and pressure respectively. So at first you are using the TP relation. So this is the expression of the final temperature. You just put the values and you see that is you can calculate the final temperature. So this is the final temperature. Again, if you use the PV relation, then from the PV relation you can calculate the final pressure. You can also check this problem, that is 1 gram molecule of monoatomic gamma is equal to 5 by 3 perfect gas as at 27 degrees centigrade is adiabatically compressed in a reversible process from an initial pressure of 1 atmosphere to a final pressure of 50 atmosphere. Calculate the resulting difference in temperature. So this particular problem involves temperature and pressure. So you have to use TP relation, which involves pressure and temperature, and from the TP relation, just like the previous problems, you can calculate the final temperature because all the values are known to you. Calculate the change in internal energy and state, whether temperature will fall or rise when a system absorbs 600 calorie of heat and performs 420 joule work. No heat is absorbed by the system, but 210 joule work is done on it. 250 calorie heat is evolved by the system and 350 joule work is done on the system. So there are different types of cases. And from the first law of thermodynamics we know that is dq is equal to du plus dw or du plus pdv. This is the mathematical formulation of the first law. So du we can write as dq minus dw. Now in the case A, you just read it again. It absorbs 600 calorie of heat. That means delta Q is equal to 600 calorie. It has been given in the problem, and performs 420 joule of work. So how much work? Delta W is equal to 420 joule. But you can convert the joule into calorie unit. So to convert the joule to calorie unit, you have to divide by 4.2. So 100 calorie. Why you are converting? Because you see that is heat is given in calorie unit. That is why we are also converting the work to calorie unit. So du is equal to, from this problem, dq minus dw. So du is equal to 500 calories. Since du greater than 0, so internal there is a rise in the internal energy. That means temperature will also rise. Now case B. No heat is absorbed by the system, but 210 joule work is done on it. So delta Q is equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because no heat is absorbed. Next is that is 210 joule work is done on the gas. So as work is done on the gas, its sign will be negative. But what we are doing, we are converting it to the calorie unit. So after the conversion, this is minus 50 calorie. Now you use the formula du is equal to dq minus dw. So 0 minus of minus 50 calorie is equal to 50 calorie. So as before, du greater than 0 and temperature will rise. And in the last case, 250 calorie heat is evolved by the system and 350 joule work is done on the system. So case C is that and delta Q is equal to minus 250 calorie. Why we are writing? Because heat is evolved by the system. In the previous cases, that is, heat is absorbed by the system, but in the last case, heat is evolved by the system. That is why in the case C, that is delta Q is equal to minus 250 calorie. And next is that the work is done on the system. When work is done on the system, then the sign of the work must be negative, and it is 350 joule. Just we have converted it to the calorie unit. So this is minus 83. Now you use the first law, du is equal to dq minus dw. Ultimately you will observe that is du is equal to negative. As du is negative, temperature will fall. Now another problem, a gas is confined in a cylinder and 500 calorie of heat is added to it. So we are providing some heat to a gas which is confined in a cylinder, and the amount of the heat is 500 calorie. As a result, it expands against the atmospheric pressure. So what is happening? The gas is expanded as you are providing heat. If the change in the internal energy of the gas is 420, so this is the change in internal energy. Calculate the increase in volume. So as the gas is being expanded, so we have to calculate the increase in volume, and 1 atmosphere pressure is equal to 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Now we know the expression of the first law, that is delta W is equal to PdV is equal to delta Q minus du. This is the expression of the first law. Now from the problem, delta Q is given, this is 500 calorie, and you see that is if the change in internal energy is this one, so du is equal to 420 joule. So we have to convert it to the calorie unit. So du is equal to 100 calorie. So finally from the first law of thermodynamics, we can say that is delta W is equal to 400 calorie is equal to this one 1680 joule. So this is delta W, but we know that is delta W is equal to how much? PdV. So PdV is equal to this one. So dV is equal to 1680 joule by P. What is the pressure? Pressure is given here, and this is 1 atmosphere pressure. After dividing by the pressure, we are getting the change of volume is this one. So we have discussed some problems which is related to the first law of thermodynamics. I am again saying that is this lecture is in continuation of my earlier lecture. I hope you have understood the problems which has been discussed throughout these two lectures, and I will also suggest that you go through the textbook Garg, Bansal and Ghosh at first. You just clear the concept regarding the different theories, and you also check that is how the derivation type of problems have been solved. Then you go through the numerical problems, and I also thank you for listening my lecture.